Tyreek Hill, the fastest man in the NFL and the heartbeat of the Miami Dolphins offense, has always been known as a player who could turn a simple play into a jaw-dropping highlight. But when the news broke of his injury, the entire league stopped to take notice because this was more than just another player going down. It was the sudden pause of a superstar whose speed, agility, and explosive energy have defined games and shaped defensive strategies for years. And the sight of Hill going down after what looked like a routine play sent chills through the stadium, as fans, teammates, and analysts realized how fragile even the brightest careers can be when the one thing an athlete can't outrun, injury, comes calling. And in that moment, the silence of the crowd told the story. This wasn't just about the Dolphins losing a wide receiver. This was about losing their most valuable weapon, their confidence booster, their game changer, and the spark that made Tua Tagovailoa's passes look unstoppable. Because Hill doesn't just run routes, he redefines how defenses line up, forcing safeties to back up, corners to give space, and linebackers to hesitate. And when he left the field, suddenly everything about Miami's high-powered offense seemed uncertain. And fans across the world wondered how long the Cheetah would be out, what this meant for fantasy football, and whether the Dolphins could keep their playoff hopes alive without him. And the impact is massive because Tua now has to rely more heavily on Jalen Waddle and other weapons. But without Hill's presence to stretch defenses, the field shrinks and every throw becomes riskier, which allows opponents to blitz more and crowd the box. And this changes everything for Coach Mike McDaniel's offensive schemes that thrive on speed and spacing. Because Hill isn't just fast, he's a decoy that frees space for others, and his absence creates a ripple effect that goes beyond statistics into team morale, energy, and confidence. And it doesn't stop there because Tyreek Hill is not only critical to the Dolphins, he's also one of the biggest stars in the NFL, a highlight machine whose plays dominate social media, sports talk shows, and primetime broadcasts. And when he's sidelined, the league feels less electric, fans lose some excitement, and even ratings can take a hit because Hill is one of the few players casual viewers tune in just to watch. So this injury becomes bigger than one team. It becomes an NFL storyline that dominates conversations. But beyond the headlines lies the human side. As Hill is more than a football player, he's a competitor who has worked tirelessly to maintain peak conditioning and to prove doubters wrong after his trade from Kansas City. And now he faces a battle that isn't just about speed or agility, but about resilience. Because for athletes like him, coming back from an injury is not just physical, but also mental. Learning to trust the body again, regaining confidence in cuts and sprints, and pushing through frustration when things don't feel the same. And that's why fans were shaken when he showed visible frustration while being helped off, because that body language often means the player knows something serious has happened. And while the medical staff runs tests and gives timelines, the big question on everyone's mind is whether Hill will return as the same explosive force. Because history shows us that wide receivers who rely so heavily on speed often struggle after big injuries, with names like Odell Beckham Jr. and Julio Jones serving as reminders. But at the same time, Hill is different. His training, recovery routines, and work ethic have always set him apart. And if anyone can come back quickly, it's him. Yet the clock is ticking on Miami's season, and every week without him changes the playoff picture. Especially in the competitive AFC where teams like the Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, and Bengals are fighting for top spots. And for Miami, losing even a couple of games without Hill could mean slipping in seeding or even missing the playoffs. And that pressure adds another layer to the story because it's not just about Hill's recovery. It's about how much the team can survive without him, and whether Waddle and the running backs like Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane can step up and carry the load. And while they're talented, the truth is simple. Tyreek Hill is irreplaceable because his combination of route running, acceleration, and fear factor is unique. And without him, defenses won't hesitate the same way. They won't back up as much. And that split second of hesitation that creates touchdowns disappears. And in football, that split second means everything. So now the Dolphins face a defining stretch. And for Hill himself, this becomes a pivotal chapter in his career and legacy. Because injuries are often what separate good careers from legendary ones. And if he comes back strong, it adds to his story of greatness and resilience, proving he's more than just raw speed. But if this injury lingers, it could start to define how we remember him, because longevity is crucial in the Hall of Fame conversation. And Hill has the stats and highlights, but to cement his legacy, he needs durability. And this moment will test that. And while fans wait for updates, what often gets overlooked is the mental battle players like Hill go through. Because being sidelined when you know you're one of the best is heartbreaking. And watching teammates fight without you, hearing the chatter, and feeling the weight of expectations can be crushing. Yet this is also where champions are made, in the way they respond to setbacks. And Hill has the opportunity to come back and silence doubts, to prove that the Cheetah can't be caged by injury. But until then, the NFL world waits, the Dolphins adjust, and every fan wonders if their season just changed in the blink of an eye. Because that's the cruel reality of football. One play can rewrite an entire year. And for Tyreek Hill, this injury is more than a pause. It's a test of his career, his team, and the very identity of one of the league's most unstoppable forces. And the question we're all left with is simple yet powerful. Can the Cheetah return to full speed? Or has this injury slowed down one of the fastest men alive?